Ladies and gentlemen, let's take a moment, shall we, and let us talk about The Harder They Fall. This is a new movie that is dropping on theaters this weekend. It is going to be dropping on Netflix the first weekend of November. Whether you are more comfortable seeing it in the theater or seeing it on Netflix, just make sure you see it. This is a Western. But I gotta tell you, as I was watching this movie and preparing to come and talk to you about it, I was thinking to myself, when is the last time I saw a Western? And of course, the first thing that might pop into my mind is Yellowstone, but I wouldn't consider Yellowstone necessarily a Western. I mean, there's cowboy hats, but this is like a proper Western. We are talking saloons. We are talking like, standoffs. We are talking like horses, cowboy hats. We are talking like riding into towns. We're not talking like machine guns. We're talking like reloading with your 6-shooters. All of the makings of what a Western should be. Sure, there's some other things too, but those are some of the fixings you need in a Western. And I'm thinking, okay, when's the last time I saw a Western? Off the top of my head, not going through the list of things that I've seen, I'm thinking off the top of my head, The Magnificent Seven, several years ago, Denzel Washington, my twin brother, unofficially. That was a great Western. But as I'm watching this, I realized the one thing that was missing in Denzel's, or I should say Antoine Fuqua's, The Magnificent Seven, strong parts for women. Well, guess what? Not a problem in this one. I'm getting ahead of myself. Let's reel it back in. We meet Nat Love, who was played by Jonathan Majors, and he has been wronged in the past, and now he is out for revenge. It is putting him on a collision course with Rufus Buck. What a name, Rufus Buck, played by Idris Elba. Oh, there's going to be a showdown. They both have their teams, and they are on a collision course to collide. Now, what makes this Western different than any other Western that I've seen, first of all, is the soundtrack. We are talking like sweet reggae beats mixed in with some sweet R&B beats. It's a beautiful soundtrack. Oh, that brings me to something else I've never seen in a Western before. Predominantly black cast. It's very exciting. So I love that as well. But I'm also really impressed by the strong female parts that we had in this film. Regina King, who is menacing in this film. She's on the Rufus Buck side of things, don't you know? Fresh off of her stellar performance directing in One Night in Miami last year, is showing that, oh, by the way, she can still kill it in front of the camera as well. She was fantastic in this. Like I said, menacing, terrifying, and I mean that in the nicest of ways. We also have Zazie Beetz in this film. You're thinking, who's Zazie Beetz? Do you remember the Joker? Do you remember the love interest in the Joker? That's Zazie Beetz. She is in this, and she is on the Nat Love side of things, so you got to know that there's going to be a collision there as well. I'm watching this film, and I'm like, this is a proper Western. I'm loving everything about this. It's just so enjoyable. It was such a fun experience. Now, you don't necessarily need to see it in the theater if you want to go and get the fresh popcorn. It's nice, but you can also check it out on Netflix as well. It isn't just the fact that, oh, this is a Western that's kind of popped up. We don't get a lot of Westerns. Like, the performances in this movie are really well done. Years ago, like when Netflix kind of like burst onto the scene and we saw that, okay, we're seeing a lot of nominated films coming from Netflix. It was one of those, oh, well, Netflix is making some noise. It's not even a point of Netflix just making some noise now. You're seeing that a lot of filmmakers want to take their projects to Netflix because of the level of freedom that they're given. And the director of this film was given, by the looks of it, tons of freedom on this project. I was very impressed with it, and I think you will be as well. Idris Elba kills in this movie. He is menacing. He is terrifying. He kind of like brings you back to what made him such a badass in The Wire. I really liked all the performances in this film. Lakeith Stanfield, I'm not just saying it because he's got Keith in his name. He is a fantastic actor. I am really impressed with him, whether it's like Judas and the Black Messiah or so many of the other projects he's in. He's just consistently developing such a strong resume. I definitely recommend this film, The Harder They Fall. Very entertaining, wonderful breath of fresh air. A Western, the likes of which I've never seen. Really enjoyed it. I give this movie a B+. If you have the chance to see The Harder They Fall, and like I said, in theaters this weekend, Netflix, I want to say November the 3rd, Either way, just make sure you check it out. If you see it, let me know what you think. CFL_fan on Twitter, Facebook.com/Witty Whittier, and WittyWhittier.com. Thank you so much for checking this out. My name is Keith, and I'll see you at the movies.